If you're looking to build enterprise grade workflows, then you need an enterprise grade tool. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can use StackAI to build an SEC Filing Analyst AI workflow. So you can take a 10K or a 10Q form that companies file with the SEC, analyze them, and create a report. This workflow would traditionally take tens, if not 100 hours of work with a traditional human analyst. So we're going to do it in just a couple of minutes. I'm going to show you exactly how to set it up. So this is going to be the finished workflow once we're done. We're going to have a file which we're going to upload, which is going to be this Tesla filing here. We're going to then run it through OpenAI to pull apart the document and extract some info. Then we're going to create a report from it. We're going to create an evaluation step, which is going to look at the report, look at the filing, and make sure there's no mistakes or errors. I'm going to use a second AI model for this. And then finally, we're going to output it as a result here. So we can see we have this going in, a 10Q form from Tesla, and then we end up with this coming out, which is a 9-page report, and it's just going to take a couple of minutes. So without further ado, let's jump in. The first thing we're going to want to do is go into StackAI. I'm going to go ahead and create a new project. And I'm going to go to the workflow builder, which is going to give us a blank slate to start with. I'm going to start from scratch, and we're going to use this new project here. Okay. This is pretty much blank. I'm going to go SEC Filing Analyst build. Okay. Going to press create project. And on the screen, we're going to have this. We're going to have an input, which is at the moment just a text input. We're going to have an AI assistant step here, and then we're going to have an output. Fairly straightforward. Now, the first step, we're going to want to change this text input. This needs to be a file input. So we're going to go to inputs on the left-hand side, and I'm going to select files and then drag it onto our canvas. You could also click it, and then I'm going to connect this into our node here. Next, select text input, and we can actually get rid of that. Okay. I'm going to realign it. You can. And now you can see this has actually gone red because we've removed the text input and we haven't replaced it with the file. So if we click into this and scroll down, you can see this user message uses the previous input. If we click it and remove it, we get that. Okay. We'll leave that blank for now because we're going to update that in a second. Here, if we click in, we can see we have the opportunity to upload a file, and you can upload different types of files in here, as highlighted, from docs to text to CSVs, PDFs. That's what we're going to be using. And we're going to want to plumb that into our first OpenAI LLM step. Okay. Let's click into this, and you can see we've got a few things. We've got instructions, we've got our model up here, and then we've got our prompt down here. We're going to change this to start with. I'm going to delete this. And I'm going to give it a set of new instructions. Here's some instructions I created earlier for this specific use case. It says, you are an expert SEC filing analyst. Your task is to segment the uploaded 10K or 10Q report into the following sections and return structured, readable summaries for each. And then we list a number of the sections that we want to pull out. Now, we're not going to dig into how these filings are actually made up, but these are the things that you want to check for. Now, I've said for each section, provide key points or disclosures in plain English, including direct quotes from the filing where relevant, brief explanations as to why each point might matter to investors or company leadership, highlight any comparisons, and then we've gone down to additionally produce a short due diligence checklist of 10 items an investor or board should monitor, legal process, warranty, etc. Finally, format the response as a complete report with the appropriate styling and headlines. You do not need to introduce your response to provide the detailed report formatted in Markdown, okay? So that's a pretty comprehensive prompt. It's tailored for this specific use case, and we're going to make sure we select the right model for the job. For this one, I'm going to select GPT-5 Mini. It's got a 272,000 context window, should be enough. It's 133 pages, and we're just going to use that. Next, if you scroll down, we're going to have the actual prompt. This is where we're going to prompt the AI to do a thing, and we're going to provide some context from the previous step. This is what we're going to put. Here is the uploaded document for you to process. We're going to do files. It's a good way to include this. you could also do slash, and you can select this, documents. I'm going to put it between these file brackets. This is just good practice for prompting. And this means it's going to pull the document which is given to us from this step. Just to recap that, if we go here, we do slash, and you can see what files we have available to us. We're going to select this document, which means the past content from the uploaded files, processed via OCR and other techniques, ready for use. Select that. And now our first step is good to go. If you see this note up here, one thing that I actually like to do, which is good practice, is actually update this note. So we're going to say SEC Filing Analyst, and I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to put the use case. Okay, here we go. This step takes the 10K PDF file input and processes it into a report before passing it to the evaluation step. We haven't built the evaluation step, but this is good because if you're sharing it with your team members, they understand what's going on. Okay, next step. Let's add the evaluation step. If I hover over this line here, we see this plus. If you want to add another step in a workflow, I'm just going to press this. And the node is going to be another LLM node. And we're going to use Google this time. When you get a popover, you're going to see the same sort of makeup as we did before, like a simple set of instructions here, and then our model at the top. For this step, I'm going to choose Gemini 2.5 Pro because it's got a big context window. We can take in the previous report and the uploaded PDF filing, which we gave it previously, compare them and do something like check for errors, check for inconsistencies, and figure out if the report is good or not. Here is the instructions that I'm going to give this step. Okay. You're an expert evaluator of SEC filing analysis. Your task is to review the output produced by the assistant from analyzing a 10K or 10Q report, check its correctness, then update any parts of the report that need correcting or improving. The output should segment the report into the following sections, each with structured readable summaries. Okay. Then we have the detail coming from the previous prompt. Okay, the same thing. For each section, check the following things. Are the key points disclosed? Are they clear? Are comparisons of previous filings clearly highlighted? Is the summary structured, etc.? And then additionally, ensure the assistant is included a short due diligence checklist of 10 items investors, boards should monitor. Okay. Specific to this use case, but that's good to me. If we scroll down, we're going to see the prompt. Again, we need to do a similar step as before to make sure we're bringing the right data in. And in this case, it's this. Here is the analysis of the previous filing. Please check it for accuracy. Okay, the analysis step is going to be the report we generated from the previous step. Again, this is OpenAI. So if I delete this and just show you how to add it, we press slash and we see the completion from OpenAI. And here we have the document. Again, to repeat, press slash and we get the document. Okay, so we're pulling the document in that the user uploads and the completion that comes from the previous step in here. And we're feeding it all into this step to make the comparison, to check the report's good, and to give us our final output. And that is all we need to do with this step so we can close it. Now, I'm just going to save this quick and I'm going to reorganize how this looks because it looks a bit janky again. But luckily, we've got a nice feature for this. We can auto arrange the nodes and then fit everything to the screen. Okay. I want to just go and add another sticky note to this to make sure we are clear. Let's show that. And we'll click in. We'll make it yellow, same as before. And we'll say SEC evaluation. We'll say SEC report. Just make it very clear for anyone in our team that might be looking into this. We'll make that a H2. And for the actual text, we'll have this. This step will double check the output of step 1, make any fixes, and then republish the report. Okay, that looks good to me. Now let's test it. Let's go to the files and we're going to actually upload our first file. Now we're going to do this manually. We haven't attached an interface yet, so I'm just going to upload it. And here we go. can close this and we can press run. Now, once you run it, you're going to be able to see the run progress in the bottom right, which nodes have successfully run. This is really important as your flows get more complex. And you can see we've got a border highlighting the node being processed. You can see the time that is spent. Now we're on to the first of our LLM nodes. Okay, our first one ran successfully. You can see exactly how long it took. This took 130 seconds and used 37,605 tokens. And you can dive into that more if you want to by opening this up. The inputs and outputs. We'll leave it closed for now. And now we're on to our second LLM step, which is passing all of that through to Gemini 2.5 Pro to make sure we're on the right track and to cover off any errors and fixes. Okay, and looks like we have a successful output. Our second one ran 104 seconds with 47,000 tokens. And now we have what looks like a complete output here using these sources. So if we go to our formatted response, you can scroll down and see it. Okay, and if you wanted to download this PDF, we can do. Let's open this one up. And you can see we have our report, which has just been created for us. It's 7 pages long. It goes through each of the things that we needed. And it gives our new modified risk factors and goes step by step through each of the sections in this report. So our workflow is working and it's good to go. Now, one thing I wanted to cover finally is how you can serve this up to your users. We won't go into too much depth here, but if you're ready to go, you can actually press publish like this and publish. Okay, that's step one. If you did want to export this in a certain way, maybe you want to serve it as a form, as a chatbot, as a chat assistant, a Slack app, whatever it is, go to the export tab and you're going to choose which one you want to do. You're going to choose a form. We're going to use this interface, and then you can go ahead and edit this. For example, you're going to change the name. And you can go ahead and customize the description, but you now have a form. Maybe you can actually just delete this for ease. Here we go. And say, please upload a 10K or 10Q PDF. Okay, here we go. Delete that. And now you have a file. You can save it. You can share this published interface with a user. You can set a password, select the allowed source URLs. But now it is live for you to share with the world and start analyzing those reports. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough. I hope you learned something, and I'll catch you on the next one.